So, no.
Cinderella's up by a friend and Hannibal is not.
Right, yeah. Hannibal did not earn a liege lord.
I did learn possibly an ally, maybe. Somebody that would come to me for questions.
Let's just go with you were absolved from blowing up Lady Siler's estate by the church.
I want more.
You still have no heart, Stephen.
I mean...
I'm hungry.
Notice I said you're absolved by the church. Lady Siler still has payment due.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's going to be Arcadi's next priority.
Yeah. Marilla hasn't let that slip.
Yeah, well, what was I going to say? We don't have to take care of that until we come back, though.
Correct, yeah. She did say that upon your return to the city, that she would, she was giving you a for lack of a better term, even though I probably could come up with a better term, but this is just funnier, she's giving you an escort mission when you guys return to Nuln.
Right.
Yep.
From whatever you're doing for the Emperor. So.
Well, regardless, seeing as we are leaving town, and the last thing I want is for the wine vampire to think we're skipping out on her, yeah. Arcadi will make sure to send a message to her, letting her know sort of what happened. So we were at the church, we got swarmed by demons again, we smote them with righteous and wrathful fury, and now we're on our way again, but we'll totally be back, so if you've got anything that you want us to handle, anything else comes up, just leave a message with the envoy, at the consul.
Right. Cool. Yeah, and I think you can expect a wine-stained letter at some point.
Awesome.
Can I please go resummon Dane?
Yeah, do you want Dane back? I mean...
Yeah, I'll get Dane back. I'm gonna have a long fucking conversation with my deity, though, about this.
Yeah, no. I think that the first most important thing is where does the party get back together? I don't know why I moved you this grade. I should have moved you to Nuln, totally. Let me do that now.
Obviously, we go back to the beginning. The galleon and the Nuln.
Do you guys like
sure.
So you have a bungalow that's half burnt to the ground.
I mean,
in case anyone forgot.
Bad is half burnt?
Really about this bad?
Yeah.
I mean, Farron, you still got a bedroom. You're good.
Arcadi's bedroom was
you
fine.
Can share with me.
Oh, it's all a trick.
Wow.
Yep, we'll go into the galleon and Null.
Cock blocked again. Okay. Yeah,
One would say.
So instinctually, so first of all, the four leave the church. Chester, you're very nervously fidgeting around something, and you see them leave the church. They don't see you because you're invisible, because you're that
you
guy.
are the knight.
Yeah, and it's also getting dark. Like it's getting dark out, and understandably so. The knights probably will not be patrolling on that curfew now, or probably for a while. They have other duties to attend to now.
Can I please go run quickly and buy some herbs?
One would say that Chester is one with the shadows.
Yeah, one with the shadows.
I am buddy systeming my way across the rooftops.
Yeah, exactly. You're within earshot so that if demons swoop down upon you, you can scream loud enough that they will hear you. And
swooping is bad.
Yeah.
Swooping's bad, and it's a real girly scream.
+1 for the Dragon Age reference.
I will always reference that because swooping.
So you guys go to the Galleon and the Knoll, and I think that Vi, should you choose, once you've earned, you could probably have like 5 gold back. That you
okay, I was gonna ask, how much do I actually get back?
You did start with a copper, so it takes a while to get up there.
No, it's good. Yeah.
Your return was well. You maybe you tipped the scales a little too far in one direction. They had to balance back out again. They were just resetting. It was doing that thing with scales when like you place something on it, it kind of goes back and forth a little bit before it settles. It was just the scales were settling for you.
Yeah, I had to wait for it.
Right, exactly. So you can have 5 gold at least, so you don't starve.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. So you guys head. You just get a feeling that you need to go to the Galleon and the Knoll. And so, I think, understandably so, I forget, I don't even think we named the innkeep. But he never had like a really popular place. It was always kind of dead. It was mostly for travelers, not so for locals. It wasn't like a bar. It was actually like a tavern for travelers, being as close to the river as it is. So I think that like the four of you enter first, right? The from the church, and you're all like bandaged, and like there's blood leaking out of the bandage, and like there's a big hole in your shoulder, Morella, and Farron.
I wouldn't say hole. I just say it's bandaged.
Farron,
it has a big blood spot.
Farron, the back of your skull feels a little pressed in at a certain place where you got RKO'd into the ground.
Small.
Yeah, it feels a little loose. There feels like there's some like moving plates around in there somewhere.
I was wondering what was gonna break first.
Hannibal, around your midsection where the pincer was, there's like you feel like your legs aren't even attached to your body. Arkady, though, you're fine, man.
Yeah,
you're like
still have that mummy face going.
Arkady's completely fine.
Arkady's completely fine. Didn't take a single lick of damage.
I'm also still wrapped up like a mummy.
Maybe you're like rolling your shoulder because it was a little bit sore from all the stabbing you had to do.
And you're complaining about it?
Yeah, maybe.
You're like rolling your shoulder. You're like, man.
He wouldn't complain about it. He just sort of overemphasize it, like
really work that out.
He had something so hard that he hurt himself.
Oh, that's a cake right there. That's a cake. You know how bad this is, right? I mean,
It's just the image
he's just trying to imply that that's how awesome the strength of his blow was.
Right, yeah.
He stabbed it so hard that he almost dislocated his own shoulder.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the images, the images are Arkady walking in between the three of you, right? Like two of you on either side and one of you behind. You all look at each other, which is like above Arkady's head, and then you all look down at Arkady. As you're like limping along. It's great.
Well, I'm not limping. I'm striding away.
Hey, Arkady.
Because I ain't no
Close
bitch.
47.
Sorry, what?
Close 47. I took a fair few blows for you. I deserve the bonus.
You were not supposed to read that contract.
Oh god, they're onto us. They're onto us. Run.
Yes, contract. Yes, we will arrange appropriate recompense once appropriate accounting can be handled. We should return to inn, and I will acquire ledger. Yes.
Yep.
It's all very complicated. I mean.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But we're at the end now.
Yeah.
And
you guys are there, and Chester, how do you enter?
I've been there the whole time.
Okay, so like you enter and you're like, do you have a drink in front of you, like legs kicked up, like, hey guys.
Like I'm sitting at the table with them, and I'm like, so what's next, guys?
Nobody noticed you.
Well, alright. Maybe we should wait till 5, but I think I should tell you guys about Anders.
So Vi, do you appear then? How do you make
on
your
cue.
Yeah, how do you make your entrance into the inn?
I just casually, no grand entrances. I think I just appear at the head of the table.
Hey, but and then I cough up blood.
Yeah. So, now you all 6 are reunited.
So,
yeah.
About Anders. I actually, before we set out on this journey, I actually had a vision. A prophetic dream, I suppose would be a better term of it, where I witnessed Anders building an army of undead and creatures of chaos, saying that he would lead an attack.
Again, it was only a vision. It is not necessarily true.
Are you fucking serious, Morella?
She looks at you with like the coldest dead stare. She's like, what we
right
saw in the
back.
church is again, perhaps us trying to be discouraged that one of our greatest champions is now against us. Understand how I must feel.
I don't
How
care.
our world must
Okay,
feel.
this guy is that
I
famous.
don't
Should we make
care.
strain rolls to know who he is?
Yeah, so everybody knows the name. Everybody knows Anders Wilhelm of Avalon. He's the human paragon. Much the same as Fipship Sheppen is the halfling paragon. rogue of enormous might who was said nothing ever escaped her grasp, and nothing ever escaped her sight either. She could see and not be seen by anything, was her kind of call to fame. But Anders Wilhelm of Avalon, he's the human paragon. He was a paladin, and he was the one who held off the armies of undead during the battle against Malek the Corruptor in the city of Mordheim. Malek was the one who attempted to take it over after the comet struck, and would have succeeded in doing so if the 5 paragons had not. Yeah, actually, she went by Fip, by the way, just Fip.
Fip.
More reasonable.
Yeah, halflings have names
that
are crazy, obviously. But yeah, Anders is the human paragon who held off the waves of undead while the others battled Malek himself.
Yep. And she looks at you, Hannibal, as like you say, "Are you serious?" She's like, "Hannibal, I have no physical evidence. Coincidentally, again, what I see is what I perceived, and what I've told you is my opinion. That perhaps our enemy is trying to dissuade us, to discourage us that our greatest champion is our greatest enemy now. Until I physically see his body standing before us with an army of undead and chaos forces, I will not believe it."
That's fine.
Interesting.
You're wrong, but that's fine.
Interesting principle. May I suggest that possibly we should inquire as to where he is if he is not doing this thing that your
No one
companion
knows
says?
where he is.
Yeah, so Anders went missing.
That is convenient.
Yeah, Anders went missing shortly after the battle against Malek. Anders went missing, and as well as some of the other paragons also went missing.
He did have a steward, though.
He did have a steward, yes.
Sorry, should I be rolling or?
No,
I said I was doing research.
You already knew all this. You already
Yeah.
rolled and knew all this. Yeah, but if you remember all that stuff, I don't want to talk. You tell him. I'm done.
I remember because I was specifically telling you I was researching.
No, yeah, and I gave you a ton of information on this. So yeah, if you know it all, go for it. You tell him.
Yes, his name was Jonathan, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think he currently resides. And then look over Morella.
Conte.
Yeah, Jonathan Conte. He actually resides, I believe, where you're from, Morella. You might have met him before.
Can I see a history roll to see
Yes,
whether
you can
I've
roll a
actually...
history roll.
Alright. Let me see.
Just so you know, Chester knows absolutely fucking nothing.
Holy
except the name.
shit!
So, Morella, you actually have met this individual before, briefly and by acquaintance.
Yeah.
Do you remember the war meeting you took with Wolfsbane and 2 of his knights?
Yes. One of them was him.
One of them was named Jonathan Conte.
Okay. Yeah.
He was
so,
a
like,
knight.
she may be like...
He was a knight of the stag.
Her eyes go wide as you say this, Hannibal, and she's like... But then they, like, kind of, like, go back to normal, and she's like, "Look, we have other tasks at hand. This information is prevalent only to us when it comes to the time that it is need to be present.
That's fine, but Morella.
I understand what you tell me.
Don't let your want of this not to be him to cloud your judgment.
It is not want.
This is your want.
She, like, looks at you, she's like, "Hannibal, my entire devotion, my entire being has been built on legends and things of that sort. Anders being one of the most prevalent heroes of our time.
And you don't call that want.
It is not one. I idolize that man beyond belief. His heroism is beyond what a mere 1,000 mortals could ever hope to accomplish. What he has done has merely saved, possibly, the Empire."
Alright, let's calm this down a bit. Because we don't know what happened. No one does. Not even Jonathan knows.
She nods and she's like, "I understand. But again, this is useless information. We need to discuss what we do next." And she looks over at Vi and Chester as she says that.
I think it's safe to say we did not go inside churches anymore.
That sounds like a good idea. Also, I need to run by the crafting district for things. But
When she looks over at Vi and Chester, she just simply clears her throat and she's like, "We are leaving by dawn of tomorrow."
Can we make it like by dark tonight? Please?
I just goes, yeah, I'm good with tonight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, traveling through the dark is a lot harder for most of us, if I am aware. We cannot see where we are going, most likely.
I'm fine with traveling in the dark, but I do need to get something.
We will travel through dawn.
Yeah, perhaps you haven't noticed, but some of us are a bit worse for wear.
Yeah, like you see like all the bandages and things like that. And she's like,
Marilla's got a hole in her shoulder. Like,
Vi and Chester are just pristine.
right.
yeah, and
Clothes aren't even dirty.
but she's like, we will rest for one night, and we will leave at our convenience whenever we have wrapped up what we need. I am sorry, Chester and Vi, but the problems with your assailants, we can call them, will have to be put on hold. We must travel further. It seems that if we continue to stay, our task may never get done.
I think
We
none
must
of us
get this
wish to
done in the
spend-
name of the Emperor's will. And she looks over at you, Akadi, and she's like, and perhaps if we get this done, the Empire will aid your people.
I would hope that it will happen either way, but yes, the sooner we can take pressure off Empire, the better.
And she's like, so I am sorry if I have to risk you two, and she like gestures towards you, Vi and Chester, both of your lives for the sake of thousands.
No, thank you.
Vi nods.
She like looks at you with like a calm expression, and she's like, will you continue to travel with us?
Yeah. It's been fun. Scary, but fun.
Vi just says, which is a lie, but she just says, my God wills it.
You what now?
She doesn't.
Don't worry. She
doesn't say anything else.
Yeah, I mean...
She's obviously, and then I say to him, she's obviously a priest like I am.
Okay,
I
one of
just
you has to be
laughs.
rolling deception right now.
Vi just laughs and keeps flipping her coin.
Yeah, so I mean, like, the deal is, not only did Vi have that moment of herself releasing more of her power than she thought was capable, probably, I think the group of you saw Vi release more power than you thought her capable of. In fact, to, like, scary levels, almost.
Yep. Yep.
So
And,
that's a point that maybe somebody will bring up at some point.
But
Maybe you now know why Chester's so afraid of me?
Right, yeah,
But, yeah.
exactly.
And,
Maybe it's like, oh, that's why Chester is scared of her and
Yep.
does everything she says. Because she'll just
But,
I thought it was already
incinerate him.
reasonable, but
But
Just
while
incinerate
we are
him.
discussing, Marilla just kind of looks at the group and she's like, however, before we do set off, there is something that I must do. At least a few things. So again, we will leave at dawn.
What are those things, milady?
She smiles and grabs at your shirt chest, not Chester, Farron, and pulls you in for a kiss.
plot fucking twist.
Hannibal is shocked.
I'm actually freaking out
I guess we know why we're spending the night.
So we have a moment, I think,
Damn.
of everybody just, like, watching this occur, right? Like, in fact, I think the only sound is the squeaking of like the innkeep wiping the inside of a glass or something.
Yep.
And then the moment ends.
Yeah, and as like she pulls away from the kiss, she simply says, "That's one task down." And
tonight?
It's so romantic.
And then she's not done yet.
Let's see. First thing on the list.
Now
All right,
she
did that.
grabs it.
Check next.
Now
She's not done yet. She's not done yet. Vi. She does the same thing to you.
At this point, Chester is running away again.
Chester just does the thing where he slides under the table, just like onto his knees and like slides over.
Yeah. So again, Marilla does the same thing with you, Vi.
I mean,
how do you react to it?
So Vi, you would be probably not, maybe not okay with this. Farron obviously would be okay with this.
So how does this Vi react to Marilla doing this?
I totally think that Vi stands up, pushes you away from her, and then disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and she
But until she did that, it was a damn good kiss, just so you know.
Oh yeah. So like this happens, and she like looks at you, Farron, and she's like, "It's as I thought. Farron, I am sorry, but it seems," and maybe she looks in the direction that Vi was in before, and she like maybe blushes a bit. She's like, "It seems that I fancy women more so than men."
I just kind of look at her and go, You're figuring this out now?
Perfect. Yes, absolutely.
Man. And scene
end. Scene end. Absolutely. Hannibal just goes, "You're just now realizing that," and I think that yeah, that's perfect. So what were the other things you had to do? Does anybody else have to do over the course of the night?
Can I please go get some herbs? Give me some fucking herbs!
I mean, it's a little late for you to buy any. You could go out and hunt for some.
Sure.
In the wilderness.
Where?
We're leaving at dawn, so it's not like we're leaving right away. Like, if we have to spend an hour or two, we can do that.
Yeah. I know there's gonna be a long talk with her.
Yep.
Does Chester know Hannibal is going to go or wants to get some herbs?
I think he's mentioned it more than once, probably.
Chester's gonna offer his services to get some herbs.
Do you need some bird food?
Sure. All right. Let's go.
Okay. So two of you are gonna go shrimming, basically.
What I want to know is Farron's reaction to not only being kissed, but then seeing her kiss Vi.
I assume that Farron is passed out in the booth still.
He literally is unconscious.
Literally unconscious.
You were her test. You were her crash test dummy.
Okay, I gotta find somebody who's not busy tonight so that I can hire them to be on suicide watch for Farron.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you've just you've peaked.
So maybe though, right? Because Farron, did that satisfy anything for you? Because if you think about it, there's such a build-up, right? What if that was like, I did it, and then Marilla breaks the news to you, and it's kind of like the, well, at least I got this far. It's up to you how to react, right? Like I'm just. You don't have to be heartbroken, is what I'm saying.
I want to know.
Don't feel pressured into being heartbroken and on suicide.
I'm not pressured into being heartbroken, but he is heartbroken.
I'm not saying he's heartbroken, but he's heartbroken.
I mean, it's not like Farron won't bounce back, because
sure.
I mean, just in this adventure, he has slept with at least 3 people.
At least. Those are the ones he told me about.
Yeah. But yeah, at least for this immediate time being, Farron is completely heartbroken and immediately starts buying drinks.
Yeah, the alcohol must flow.
Yes.
Lady Marbleshade was number 3, actually.
No, I mean in rank order.
Oh. I mean,
I don't mean chronologically.
But yeah, right. By what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, I really don't know.
Best in flavor, one would say.
By hierarchy or status. By status, she was number 1 for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now you're gonna go find her dead husband in some weird lizardman temple.
Yeah.
And then take her estate. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. It's gonna
yes, I'll become a noble. It'll be great.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. If you married her, you would become a noble.
Yeah. Perfect. Set up for life.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also just transform into a woman and then somehow get Umbrella.
I mean, I could just find the belt of gender swapping somewhere.
And, oh my god, that's totally his new life goal.
It totally is
his new life goal to become a woman. So
considering that my level 4 spot has the possibility of being polymorph.
Yeah, he could literally.
Wait, that only works for an hour at a time.
I can do
that.
He could literally just polymorph himself into a woman.
You need I don't know. Pathfinder has rods of permanence. What have we got now?
No, there really is a belt of gender swapping. That's really. I mean, I don't think it's in 5th edition, but there definitely is one that exists in D&D.
Fair enough.
Especially in Warhammer, it's involved with chaos.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. This is the Warhammer universe.
You have a vagina of chaos now.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But anyway, so.
Yeah, so we got some herb hunters. We have a mourner who's going to just get plastered and probably sleep in the booth tonight. Arkady, what are you doing?
That's a good question.
Okay, so step 1, I am paying the innkeeper to make sure that Farron lives through the night.
Sure. Just keep an eye on him. Start serving him water at some point so he doesn't die from alcohol poisoning.
Just steadily start watering down the drinks.
Yeah, for sure.
Step 2, writing that letter to... I just keep on... Yes, Sylar. I was going to call her Wine Vampire again.
That's fine.
And
we all know who you're talking about.
Step 3, I need to make some historical inquiries to find out what kinds of things can get you disqualified from being Empress.
Right. Whether or not,
Because I don't know if they've got problems with, succession.
It might be an issue, yeah. But generally,
you're elected, right? So
yes,
you probably don't care if you have kids or not.
Correct.
And I also need to find out about adoption, and also about just how Puritan Sigmarites are.
So Sigmarites are pretty Puritan. There definitely would not be something that would be probably looked well upon. I don't think it would disqualify you from being Empress, though. And as far as succession goes, yes. The emperors are typically elected, but they're also typically elected from a very select few individuals, only noble families. And if, for example, remember the other contender is Anthony Cahill, who's the nephew of the emperor. That's the other contender. So it is generally within the same family. They try and keep all the emperors or empresses, because there has been 2 empresses in the history of Warhammer. So. There would be law-wise, you'd be fine. It's more if the counts could put their money on the people not revolting kind of thing.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So, either fight the stigma or hide it. That's kind of the goal there. But if Morella becomes renowned enough, then nobody's going to care. She's just going to be deity walking and no one cares anymore.
I mean, she's one of the messiahs. Of course they don't care.
Exactly. They don't care.
She's not just one of the messiahs. She's the leader of the messiahs.
But
you don't actually lead some of us.
I mean, soon, TM. Soon.
You lead Hannibal.
Yeah.
Soon, TM.
What, do you need me?
If all of those creatures had sworn Morella at once, she probably would have died. But there.
I only got hit like once, so fuck you.
Well, okay, to be fair, I was rolling like shit. Okay, I had like a 50-50 shot in every single one of those rolls, and I only hit one of them. Okay.
Well, that's your bad luck then. All right, that just shows that Marilla's badass and doesn't get hit.
But that's only because Vi was in there taking up all the luck.
I mean,
and Chester apparently. Quadruple crit, motherfucker.
Schematics and things like that, you know.
Did you just say schematics?
Yeah, I'm probably drunk a little bit, so let's not talk about that.
Thematics.
I wish I could. It's so boring not having alcohol in a dorm.
Vi, what are you doing?
Yeah, so after being kissed by Marilla.
Yeah, I don't think that really bothered her quite as much or impacted her as much as it impacted Farron. I mean, Vi's probably
done it before.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
So it's really not a big deal to her as much. I mean, you in particular, yeah, that was kind of weird. But, like, that's kind of old hat, to be fair. She's she's equal opportunity. But I think that Vi probably, went to the roof and just kind of reflecting on all the shit that's happened. And I think there's one thing that's still kind of, nagging at her. And I think that's the whole, Lady Sylar, man. She saw her do some weird shit right before all the bad stuff went down, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it seemed like Lady Sylar had some insight in that there was something about to happen in the church.
Yeah, and I think that if I recall correctly, even way back before any of that, in the bungalow, she had a weird feeling about how nice the bungalow was.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I think before, if she knows that they're leaving at dawn, she only has a few hours to figure it out. So I think she is going to go to the Sylar estate.
Okay, cool.
The explosion was a trap. I didn't actually do it. It was by Lady Sylar.
See, you have so many excuses now. You can just pick from them.
Yeah, Lady Sylar did it. It was her fault. Stop being mad at me.
Cool. So, before we get past the subject, and everybody forgets that it exists, because that's how it happens in D&D games, does anyone want to know any, level of information about the Paragons, or who they are, or what they're supposed to do, or what their stories are? I kind of only told Hannibal anything about them.
Okay, so the question I want to ask is this. How many Paragons existed?
There are 5.
One for each race.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct. One for each race.
What race is that? Meaning, does that mean the common races, which is, not Halfling, not Drow?
There is a lizardman. There is a human. There is a halfling. There is a dwarf, and there is an elf.
Okay.
Yeah, and also the lizardman.
Would I know the names of these Paragons?
Everybody would know all the names of all the Paragons.
Okay, what would the names be for these Paragons?
Well, obviously, Anders Wilhelm, human.
Yep.
There's Natsu. He just went by Natsu. He's the Dragonborn. He's considered Lizardman. He's considered the greatest of the Paragons because he's the one who actually slew Malek. He delivered the killing blow.
Okay.
Which is strange, especially for empirical kingdoms, because Lizardmen are from another part of the world completely. There was Bran. Was it? It wasn't Bran. What was his name? Hold on, let me look it up. Let me look at my notes.
Were you about to say Bran Bronzebeard?
I was, yeah, but that's totally not the name. That's a Hearthstone card.
That's a World of Warcraft character. That's one of the 3 Bronzebeard brothers of the Royal.
Brutar Bronzebeard was his name. Okay. Brutar Bronzebeard was a dwarven berserker, who was said to be one of the absolute insane. He was actually what's the name of the fucking dwarves? They don't call them berserkers. They call them
Slayers.
Troll hunters. He was a troll hunter, meaning he was one of those individuals who he seeks death through killing the biggest thing he could possibly find.
Yeah. It was that's a well. Wait, is it a slayer or is it specifically a troll hunter?
Troll slayer.
Troll
slayer. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, troll slayer is what I meant. He was a troll slayer of significant note. Also said that he was related to the king of the time, who is not the current king of the dwarves, but the old king of the dwarves, related in some way. There was Fip, as you know, Fip Shipsheppen, was the she was a halfling from actually from Bretonia, yeah. And she was a rogue. And then the elf, not a whole lot was known about the elven paragon, except for that there's a lot of argument. His name was Gander, by the way. There was a lot of argument about where he came from, because he was dark-skinned like wood elves, but he was clearly trained as a monk. And in this side of the world, there are no monk training schools. The only monks that are known here are the monks of Cathay, which are far to the east of the Empire, past the World's Edge Mountains, past the Ogre Lands, even beyond farther than that. But he is the paragon of the elves.
Chester firmly believes that he's actually a half-elf.
He might be. No one ever said that he was a full elf, but he might totally be a half-elf.
You know, just because.
Yeah. So those are the 5 paragons.
Okay.
At least their names. The event that made them paragons, basically, was Big Bad Malek the Corruptor. Had essentially succeeded in his mission of capturing the city of Mordheim from his, who we didn't know at the time, but we found out, was his brother. He was actually the elder brother and was supposed to inherit Mordheim, because Mordheim used to be home to another Elector Count, but then, Comet fucking big shit happened. And he was supposed to inherit Mordheim, but his brother betrayed him and cast him out of Mordheim. And so when the comet struck, he raised an undead army and attempted to take back his rightful kingdom. But, I mean, necromancy and raising undead and, that kind of shit doesn't really fly in the Empire. And so these 5 paragons were the ones to stop him. Probably before he became too big of a deal that, the Empire directly would have to get involved. But yeah, essentially he had converted the entire city into undead. He had killed all of the chaos that existed in the city. He used a lot of weird stone and stuff to enhance his people, similar to what Skaven do, because he had also killed all of the Skaven that were in the city. He basically was the winner of the war of Mordheim, but the Paragons were able to kill him, and then in doing so, his magic, he had a lot of residual magic, and that's what kind of caused, if you guys remember from last arc, all the undead shit going on over there. Basically is all, in fact, some people call it this. They call it Malek's Legacy, where it's all of the undead are rising constantly from that area and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is all said to be a stigma of him. Because when he died, actually, he tainted the greatsword that Natsu carried. Natsu carried this, epic greatsword, and he tainted the blade. The actual steel of the blade was tainted forever because of it. And it's said to have tainted the land as well when his blood spilled.
Right. Okay.
That was the event that occurred.
But on other news.
Would you like to know what happened to them afterwards? What is known to have happened to them
from
afterwards?
what I've heard, from what I assume, there's not much information based on what happened.
Yeah, so the deal is, the way that most of them work is most of them disappeared kind of into obscurity. Similar to what happened to Sigmar, right? Once you get to a certain level, you disappear into obscurity to go do something. The elf returned to what some say is homelands back in Cathay. Fip, being the master she is said to still exist somewhere within the world, but if she doesn't want you to see her, you won't be seen by her. She's even better than Chester.
For
Anders,
now,
Anders vanished, as well as it was said that Natsu and Anders had an argument. That there was an event where they had an argument about something, and they parted their separate ways. Natsu remained in the public eye for some time. He went up north to help fight chaos for a time. It said he still lives up there. Nobody's really that sure, though.
I've never seen him.
He doesn't really communicate with the outside world. And Bruntar, being a troll slayer, literally just maybe there's probably stories of him wandering the Empire in search of bigger and bigger game to kill.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows where he is now.
Well, I only asked whether or not he was a Slayer, not because a Slayer is technically a dishonored dwarf.
Correct.
Who literally fights to redeem honor until death.
Yep.
And that is the only way he can do it.
That is 100% what he is.
Because that's only dwarven tradition and things like that. But because Gotrick is what I've read before, and Gotrick is fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is basically the iteration of Gotrick for this era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this era. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, yeah, okay. So, what do we do next? Is a question that I want to ask.
I mean, are you asking me, or...?
The group.
Okay.
Well, we have a destination.
Yeah, I mean, are you asking, like meta-wise, like, what are you guys going to do? Because there are some things we
yeah,
can take
in the
care
meantime, during this night, essentially.
Yeah,
if anyone has anything else before we leave.
Well, then I will collect up the little questalies that are going on. Hannibal, yours is... You're not going to have to go outside the city. You're just going to have to go to, like, a district that has stuff growing to attempt. You can totally go outside the city, but after the events of today, there's a good chance they're not going to let you back in.
Okay, got it. So, yeah, I'll go to just a district where things are going.
Yeah.
And I have Chester helping me, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So you can totally have advantage on your herbalism roll. Hey, 16. It's not bad. How many do you have currently towards a?
I'm not looking for a poultice.
Okay. So what kind of herbs are you looking for?
I'm looking for the herbs used to summon a familiar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can find those fairly easily with a 16.
Alright, yeah, I do that, and then I immediately, say, hey, Chester, you want to see something cool?
Very much, if I can show you something cooler.
Sure.
Both drop their pants.
I'm glad I didn't have to say
it. Yeah, I summon Dane in front of him because I figured, why the fuck not? He's already
This is just
seen.
a session where the PCs all hook up together.
Yeah, like I summoned Dane in front of him because I figure, why the fuck not? He's already seen Puck, and he knows that Puck is with me.
Fucking hate Puck.
Yeah, I do too.
That's okay. Puck is dead.
Psych, I love her.
Puck's dead, so it's fine.
Shit.
So yeah, you summon Dane, and Dane appears, and I think that you probably summoned him, and he's got the equivalent of a tiny pixie chicken wing, up to his face, and he kind of looks around, and he sets it down, and it just kind of falls to the ground. It's a little tiny piece of meat, and he brushes off his hands, and he gives you this big deep bow, Hannibal, and he goes,
"Quit it,
Master. You have summoned me back. How may I be of assistance?"
You know,
does Chester hear this?
I mean, yeah, he's not doing it telepathically.
Yeah.
This guy seems like a lot of fun.
He's a dick. Whisper to him.
I think Dane turns around and he goes, he bows to you as well. He says, "And you are?"
My name's Chester. It's a pleasure to meet you.
No, it's not. Don't lie to him.
It is a pleasure. Do you also work for my master?
No, we're friends. And then I kind of put my hand over Chester's shoulder. No, we're buds.
Very well.
We're close to it.
It's close enough.
Yeah. He's not going to stab me in the back. That's the main thing.
He's like,
well, maybe not. We'll see.
I too enjoy being your familiar, master. It is more honorable and, frankly, safer than some of the other masters.
Interesting, considering you just got blown up. Alright. Sorry about that. Do I have any messages?
She does not wish to speak with you right now.
That's an awesome thing. I'm really happy about that. Alright.
Alright.
Let's get going. What did you want to show me?
My turn. So keep this a
so
secret.
Chester drops his pants.
I mean,
a
little.
Bend over.
Just keep this a secret, all right, Hannibal?
Sweet. Yeah. Well, you got my secret right here.
That's true. I wanna see if you know anything about these. And then Chester pulls out 2 books, which are very clearly magical.
Oh shit!
Do you want to roll an Arcana check?
Yes, I do.
Sure, roll an Arcana check. Nice. So they appear to be tomes of magic, right? Like spell books for wizards. The two are written in different hands, as if they may have belonged to different people. But they're spell books, both of them.
Do they have any? We couldn't use them though.
I mean, no, but
could I?
No, not as a warlock. You don't learn spells that way.
Can I see what kind of spells are in there?
Technically, as a warlock, you only are given spells by your patron. You actually don't know what spells are or like how they're named.
You don't have actual
magic.
Right. Yeah.
You just do.
Right. You just like you ask your patron for a gift and they cast stuff through you essentially in combat and stuff like that.
Okay, so
yeah, no, it would probably be hard for you to identify a lot of the archaic language. Even with the 23, it's just simply something you don't know. But you've definitely seen spellbooks before. You know that in like to the right people, they can be highly valuable.
Yeah, and I tell them that like, yeah, these will fetch you a pretty fucking penny if you can find the right person.
Right, and also you would probably know that the best bet to sell something like this would be to go to one of the orders of magic.
Yeah, I would say go to an order of magic and probably not one in the city because I imagine you didn't get one of these through awesome terms.
Right.
All right.
You don't need to tell me how you got them.
Yeah.
Don't worry. But yeah, these things can fetch you a pretty penny at an order of magic.
Definitely not in this city. Maybe the next one.
Farron, do you have inspiration?
I think I still do.
Okay. Because I totally would award you inspiration for that joke, because that's just fucking hilarious. Holy crap, that was the best one of the night.
Oh, yeah, I just got it.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Holy shit. Oh man, sorry.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame, Farron.
I had to interrupt because I was so good. Okay.
God, I didn't even see that. That is fantastic.
My apologies. That's good stuff. Okay. So that's something. Cool. So
back we go.
Yeah, do you guys head back knowing that information now?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Chester hides those books back in his pants, where they belong.
Right.
I dang in my pants.
That's gross, but he does what you say.
No, I don't. That's gross. No, he's patrolling around me.
Gosh, gross.
Another set of eyes.
Yeah, cool. So let's talk about Vi a little bit.
Yeah.
So, Vi, you're gonna go spy on the Sylar estate.
Yes,
Why none of you have done this before now is beyond me.
I kind of had an assassin problem, so.
Well, we were going to, and then there were demons.
And then there were demons.
You kind of still have an assassin problem.
Somebody blew up our house, and then.
To be fair, you kind of still have an assassin problem.
That's true.
It's probably a little bit under the radar right now, though, with all the shit going on. Because, they could just as easily be hunted down by the Church of Sigmar. So, which is aware of their presence now, because you guys told them. So you head over to the Sylar estate. Now, what's your approach here?
So I think I'm over. So, like, what time of night is it exactly? Or
it's early. It's like, well, not early evening. It's past sundown. Probably about 9-10 p.m. probably.
Okay, so not like incredibly late.
No, not late in middle of the night. There's still activity going on inside of the city. Less though, because everybody still thinks the curfew is in effect, right? But it's not really, because they don't have people for that right now.
Yeah. So I think Vi would, change her appearance slightly, try to make her seem like possibly a housemaid of some sort. And I think that she would go around to the back of the estate and wait for one of the maybe cooks or somebody from who works at the estate to like go out to maybe like throw out the trash or something, and then she would try to sneak in the door before they closed it.
Yeah, I think that's totally a thing that can occur. I will make you roll a stealth check though, just to see how easy it's going to be for you.
Okay, I'm going to use inspiration.
That's a good idea.
I believe in you. You believe.
Holy shit!
I have luck. One
you
more.
have one
My
more
last
luck.
one.
You can tip
Last
the
one.
balance. Nice.
Oh, thank God.
18.
All right,
So
we're good.
I
We're
think
fine.
perfectly just to top it off on your day you're having thereby.
She is
I
lucky.
mean, it kind of narratively makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that if this were like modern times, this is where we'd see the like in fine print down at the bottom. It would say the house always wins ... as it takes the last bit of luck that you have remaining to do this task you're trying to attempt, right? And so yeah, you get inside the house. It's an 18, so yeah, it's easy enough to beat this cook lady, as you stated. And yeah, you blend in to the estate. Now there's not a whole lot of servants in the Sylar estate, so upon like actual scrutiny, you would be found out. But you follow well enough, and remember, since this is like an old estate,
I'm using the inner wall things that's
exactly,
happening, FYI.
Exactly, using the inner wall things.
So yeah, I'm just using that cover long enough to get to one of those doors.
Yeah, for sure. And you can easily just kind of slide in there, because the servants don't actually use these anymore, right? They're here, and everybody's aware that they're here, but they don't actually use them anymore because there's no need. Like, you know, it's not those times anymore.
Especially, well, also too, like if nobody's there, if it's just her, they don't need to have hidden from any guests or anything like that.
Yeah, and so the time is late for Lady Sylar, typically. She would be a woman that would go to sleep early and wake up, you know, kind of in the middle of the early morning or so. But through the cracks in the walls as you're kind of traveling through, I think you catch a snippet of conversation happening. And what sounds like Lady Sylar's voice. And so I assume you stop and you listen in?
Yes.
Yeah. Roll me a perception check. Okay. So you're not going to get a whole lot. It's going to be muffled. Your position just isn't right to hear what's going on. You will get some, though. You'll get the important details with a 9. So Lady Sylar is having a conversation with what you can hear is a woman, and the woman's back is to you is probably why you can't hear what she's saying as well as Lady Sylar, who is kind of like, you know, facing you a little bit more, and you can like peek out the crack and you see that you're looking at that like that open area again, that room that she has for attending audiences, and you can see the back of the woman, and the woman appears to be young, maybe in her early 20s, which I guess in this world technically is like almost middle age because
Yeah.
She's of adult age though, and she has this like long kind of raven black hair that's kind of cascading down her back, and she's not armored, but she is armed. You can see that she wears this long, thin sword on her side, and she's wearing like you can tell this is stuff you look for. There's like a dagger on her boot as well, like strapped to her leg, and she's wearing this tight kind of black or dark colored cloth clothing. And Lady Sylar is speaking to her. She says, "Yes, I don't know when they'll be back to escort you, but it will be within a few days, hopefully. No more than a couple of weeks." And you hear the woman talk, and I think the tone of her voice sounds somewhat urgent. And I think Lady Siler does the, like, her eyes narrow and she says, "Don't you question me or my orders. You work for me, remember? Not for anyone else. Especially not for that tramp. This is what I want you to do. They need to go there, see what's going on, for themselves. It's the only way we get her on the throne." And then I think you see the woman, like, kind of do the, like just shakes her head, like, kind of vigorously. And Lady Siler, you can see her, right? She sips from her cup, and she just looks at her, and the woman just, she does like a, like, kind of an overly embellished, like, curtsy bow, where, like, hands spread out, bow, bend at the knees, and she begins to leave. I think Lady Silar goes, "Oh, Minerva, dear." And you see the woman stop, pause for a moment, and turn. She goes, "Do be a doll and try not to kill anyone while you're in town. That would be hard to answer for." And you see the woman just kind of, like, give her kind of a cold look, and then walk out of sight. And then we just see the scene of Lady Silar drinking wine as she does. And I think that's a perfect place to end for the night.
Yay.
So now the question
Agreed.
begs to be asked: is the wine actually wine this entire time?
I think that question was asked, like, 4 sessions ago, right?
That's
Probably.
We assume everyone is vampires until proven otherwise.
Right, yeah. No, I think Liam's the first one that said, I wonder if that's actually wine or is it blood.
Yeah.
Because she got blue eyes.
Yep.
Right, yeah. She have piercing blue eyes? We'll find out.
God, when you first described that dude, when you were like, he has piercing blue eyes, I'm like, fuck!
See, this is how you give your players PTSD.
Yep.
Fuck,
Well,
does
not
that mean
me.
you thought-
I know
Like-
for sure.
Like, I was thinking, like, shit, again? What the fuck did I do this time?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
I would, if I were to do that again, I would make it some other notable trait about somebody. You know, like, always had a limp in their left leg or something.
The fact. Alright. I'm not gonna question things.
Just think about all the descriptors I've ever given for anybody and just assume that they're vampires, obviously.
Yep. Exactly. But that was a good session.
that was a
It
great
was.
session.
Yeah.
I was hoping that the plot twist that I gave for you guys was
Well, I have been waiting for it for so long.
Hannibal. I have been waiting for it since the creation of this character. For one of you fucks to be like, "I'm gonna hit on Morella," and her being like, "Sorry, my gate swings the other way."
Boom.
It's actually a funny way to put that.
I was very excited
I know,
when you
right?
told me about that. Because I was just like, oh, and then I bard, and I'm like, something might happen there. Because that's what bards are.
Now, it was more entertaining when Jericho asked originally, and I said, "Oh, you're not my type of, you're not my type," and that was because he's not my type because he was a man and not a woman.
So I'm curious now what it is that Hannibal picked up on so long ago.
I saw what I think happened is that I was just kind of idly sitting there watching, then this really hot woman walked by, and I kind of followed her and looked at her ass, and then I looked over at Morella going like, oh shit, she's gonna get mad at me. I looked over and she's staring at her ass too.
Yeah,
It was more
probably.
of like he picked up noticeable like things about Morella
Well,
over the course of time.
I've also been trying to help you, Morella. Review.
I know.
The blacksmith was intended to do that, but
Yep.
nobody took the bait besides.
Yeah, no one took the bait, and also the party with all the women was I was really hoping for, like, why is she acting all nervous now? It's because she's in a room full of hot women.
It's true.
Yeah,
It was
I
Yeah.
love that Farron did pick up on the fact that I was like, go for it. Go for it.
Anyway, great session, guys. I enjoyed it a lot.
Experience!
Oh yeah, experience. You guys killed a lot of fucking shit. Hold on. I actually have to do math. I should have done this
Woo!
before.
Bro's gonna be here for Sunday.
I'm actually probably gonna put it in Discord so I can just do the outro. But I'll let you guys know in just a second.
So, anybody up for some Cards Against Humanity?
Maybe. But in the meantime, I want to know what everyone else thinks besides.
Hey guys. Thanks for showing up. It's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys had a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. Very interesting session. We'll be back again next week on Friday to do it again. If you're watching on YouTube, stay tuned. Maybe the next episode is up. Maybe it's not. Maybe you'll come watch us on Friday. From all of us to you, try not to die.